Are back in the hot seat with the good Dr. Darren Green, where today in our medical discussion, we are talking medical things. We're talking about stimulants, all those uppers that make you feel good, although maybe temporarily so. Earlier on, we were talking about caffeine being the primary stimulant that most people use because we drink coffee every day, right? Most people do. How much caffeine is too much?
Yeah, so firstly, people respond differently to caffeine.
Okay.
So you'll see 6 cups a day in one person doesn't do the same as 6 cups in another person.
Okay.
And that's got to do with your makeup. It's got to do with your metabolism. It's got to do with how the caffeine is absorbed from your gut, your age, and so forth. And how the caffeine transfers across the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah.
So long of the short is, you need as little as probably 30 milligrams of caffeine. So give you one espresso is just under...
One espresso, by the way.
Yeah,
yes.
Yes. It's generally under 30 milligrams, although there are some world's strongest coffees coming out now that are above 60 in one shot. So long of the short is, so you need that to just get a bit of a buzz. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to already feel the change of that tiredness lifting. However, if you have about 10 grams, so remember 30 milligrams versus 10 grams. 10 grams could lead to cardiac arrest. Boom.
Good grief.
But that's like how many times? That's so much more than the prescribed dose. So the recommended daily allowance of coffee, according to some of our governing laws here, but overseas as well, is about 200 milligrams at a time.
But of course, there's a difference between coffee and caffeine because you get decaffeinated coffee, which is coffee without the caffeine.
And the method of which coffee is prepared also plays a role. Right. Whether it's just ground and filtered with a plunger, whether you've got high bar steam pressure coming through on your espresso machine, all plays a role. What you're drinking it with affects the molecule. Even the temperature of the coffee affects the hit rate.
Okay, so I guess just like any good thing, too much of it might be bad. So just in moderation, right?
In moderation, and it certainly helps a lot of people too.
All right, let's talk energy drinks though. You know, they say they give us energy and all these good things. How much of that is actually real in how they work and give you energy or that boost, or how much of it is actually a placebo? You're just thinking that because I'm having an energy drink,
Yeah, identifying with the image on the can, identifying with the nightlife, the buzz, the advert that you've seen is what actually drives the placebo effect. You subscribe to a cult, for example, that makes you feel like, you know, you are powering through.
Yeah.
In fact, you need to just educate yourself a little bit on what's inside. So looking at the different energy drinks, obviously sugar is right at the top of the list. So the first thing you do is, you know, turn the can around, have a look. How much sugar is in it? Okay. If there's no sugar in it, great. If it's a low sugar drink, much better, because you're not going to get that spiky high and then a drop afterwards where you feel pop in about 2-3 hours. So that's the
right thing. Is that a medical word? Pop.
Pop. Really pop. And then, of course, things like taurine is a big one. So often people don't know that taurine occurs naturally in diet. It occurs in fish and meat. But what they do is you generally need about 200 milligrams of taurine a day in your RDA. But in a can, you get about 2,000, from 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams. That's 10 times the amount you actually need. Yeah. So understanding exactly how much is too much and what leads to then some secondary effects like the shivers, the tremors, etc., is also important. You know, you need to educate yourself about that.
Okay, we're going to carry on with our conversation very shortly. Do give us a call on 0839133728 if you've got any questions to ask about all of these stimulants, energy drinks we're talking about. A question I want to ask Dr. Darren Green is the dangers of taking energy drinks with alcohol. I heard a very scary story about it very recently, but we'll continue with that chat. Right now, over to Zoe.